Welcome to this video. In this video, let's quickly talk about what the values of weak set must be and some things to take note about values of a weak set. Now, the values of a weak set must be object. Like I said in the previous video, that it is expected that the values of a weak set must be object. Now, primitive values cannot be values in a weak set. Primitive values like your normal usual 1, 2, 3, ABC. So those are primitive values. They cannot be used in a weak set. The number two thing is that the values must be objects. So when it comes to a weak set, the values of a weak set must always be objects. Number three, this restriction is tied to the garbage collection mechanism, which means that only the object of a weak set can be garbage collected because of the weak reference that they usually carry. Number four thing is that primitive are not garbage collected in the same way as objects. So when you have primitive data type of primitive values, you don't garbage collected them the same way that you do for objects of weak set in JavaScript. Now, we can also use this weak set to track objects. So the weak set is good if you want to track objects in your JavaScript program. Now, a weak set is similar to a set, but it only stores objects. Remember that when we talked about set could take primitive values and save them, and store them. But in case of weak set, it only stores objects and not primitive values and hold them weakly. It stores them and hold them weakly. If there are no other references to an object, it gets garbage collected automatically. So computer already understood, or JavaScript already understood how to garbage collected references of objects from a weak set. This makes it handy for tracking objects without storing extra data like count. So if you now want to do something like track an object, it makes it handy using a weak set without storing extra data like the number of counts of when that object has existed or something. So let's take a look at an example of how you can track an object. So I'm going to give a practical example. Follow me. So the example I want to talk about here is still about weak sets. And so I'll just come here. Now we have my script stack, and then I can now try to give an example of how you can track an object. So let me just make a text, an initial text to be an empty string, because this is where I will use as the output of my text. Now I want to create a weak set to track persons. So now you can see my object, it contains two elements, name and then the age of the person, the age of John. Now I can make the next one and call it maybe Jane, and make one more and call it Paul or Bob. Yeah, I love this suggestion, so I love it. Now to track visitors. Now that I have um, these three visitors objects, John, Jane, and Bob. Now, I need to make this function because I'm passing the parameter to it, but I'm yet to make the function, and that is what I want to make beneath because that is a function called function invocation in JavaScript. Now, take a look at this function. The person is what I'm passing in as the parameter. And inside it, I am adding what is this? I am adding each of the persons that I have as my object. I am adding them to the function, and then I'm outputting this simple part. This is just a template string. So I can output variable and its value is being tracked. But this is not where I'm going actually. This auto suggestion is good and I love the output. But then the function I want to make is actually not this. So I want to use an if statement to check if a person has existed before inside what I have. Now I can add the experts persons.add visitor. Visitor dot name plus age plus visitor, okay, yeah, visitor dot age. I'm done with my function. And now I can come out. I want to show the output. Document dot get element by adding text. Alright, here, nothing is actually showing in my code. So let me take a look at what the problem could be. String Israel contain an unescaped line break. Okay, this should work. It's visiting again. Okay, yeah. Now take a look. John is 30 years old and is visiting for the first time. Jane is 25 years old and is visiting for the first time. Bob is 35 years old and is visiting for the first time. So now, this track function performs two steps. It checks if a specific object is already contained. Then it acts If yes, update text string and then also display it, append the result to the text variable that we have here, and that is why we are getting this output. So you can go through this function so that you understand it. I know it can be complex and it can be a bit difficult the first time, but if you go through it and follow what we've just done, you will understand it better. Thank you, and I'll see you